Hello, welcome to Brimwood Farm. Now, as was pointed out to me on last week's Smallholding Diaries, I forgot to prune my kiwi. So, let's do it now. So before we get started, there's a couple of things I probably need to mention. The first of which, and probably the most important, is I don't know what I'm doing. And that's because I bought this kiwi at the Essex Young Farmers Show last year. It was sold to me as a self-fertilising kiwi, which means it should produce kiwi fruit without needing another plant. If you don't get a self-fertilising one, you need a male and a female. So this is a self-fertilising kiwi. So I don't know how to prune it. I've never done it before. I've just looked up online what I should be doing. So we'll kind of try and go through it together. The other thing is, most people would grow them as an espalier, which is where you have a central trunk and then you have trunks coming off the side, branches coming off the side, and then you allow them to bud and you get the fruit off that. Now, in the long run, when I'm on the farm, that is ideal. But for here, I want to grow it in a kind of a vine fan shape because I'm trying to cover up this horrible conservatory because I hate it. And kiwis have huge, huge leaves, as you saw when this was growing last year. And it's nice to get some greenery in here. So I'm not actually training it as an espalier, I'm kind of training it as a fan. So we'll get going and we'll see what we can manage. So first things first, this is what we're working with. So you can see that it started to bud, and it was also in a pot because I want to be able to move it so it's in a pot. So we've got our main trunk here, and then it splits into two. And then this one splits into two. Now I quite like those three because it means that we get two and then we get three fan shapes coming across. Now in espalier, these would be your side branches, and then these buds would be the ones that grow each year and fruit. Online what it said is you kind of fill the space you want and then you cut it back to 5 buds beyond where you want it to fruit, which means this I will allow to grow out this year, and then when it gets to the length that's too long, I'll cut it back to at least there's 5 leaves, and those buds hopefully will fruit. So hopefully these will bear the fruit for this year, if it fruits this year. So I don't want to really cut back any of this because this is my fan. What I do want to cut back are these spindly bits at the end because they won't grow. So this branch effectively will not now continue growing, all along here. What it will do is it will bud, and now these buds are going to become your new spindly bits. So we can cut that back to the bud, but I may actually cut it back to, so we've got possibly a fruiting spur here, a fruiting spur here, a fruiting spur here, and a couple here. This one's a bit dodgy because it's going towards the wall, so I'm going to cut back to here. And then for this branch, we have a fruiting spur here, 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 and not a layer, so we're going to cut to here. So let me get my secateurs and we will snip off. Right, so I've got a chair to stand on so we can see what we're doing. So this is one of our little things. So we're going to just snip off here, just on the growing side of the bud. And then I will probably, I've got nothing to tie this into yet, so I'll probably wait till this bud has grown a bit longer and then I'll tie it in. So it means all this spindly bit we can take out. And this would not grow. So the end of this would not produce more growth. That's done for its life, that's done. You can see here, this is a really nice, it fills me with the joys of spring to see all this lovely fresh foliage. And it's really soft and tender nice too. It's like a nice textured, you want to touch it, it's a nice leaf. So then, as I said, we're going to cut above this bud, so we're going to cut here because we don't want this inward facing bud because it's growing into the wall. We want this bud, and that's going to grow, it will grow up and then we can train it around here and cover all that nastiness. So again, we'll just take our sucketeers, snip. This one we might just have to pop under, if I can manage to do it with a camera in my hand. It's quite, I might have to do that afterwards. I'll do that afterwards because I can't manage it. And then this we can all pull out. So even though there is a little bit of growth here, I don't really want that growth. So let's pull this spindly bit off the wall. Whose idea was it to string all of this up like this? I don't know. Silly boy. I'm talking about myself, by the way. It was my idea. And again, actually this, see there's a little bud at the end of here. But again, this isn't going to grow. And then we have one more. So this is where it's split. We've got an inward facing bud, but I don't want to cut down to that, so I might just cut that off. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I'm going to do with this one, I'm actually going to leave it all the way up to this bud, because as you can see, I've started to train this along the top. So we'll cut it all the way up to that bud and leave it a little bit longer, because as I say, at the moment I'm not in this just for the fruit. I'm in this kind of for the foliage. So, right, so let me rearrange these fallen branches and I'll show you what we're left with. So to be fair, it doesn't look vastly different. All we've really done is just taken the spindly bits off the end. But you can see that it looks a little bit neater. So we've got our main trunk, we've comes up, then it turns into it's 3 fan, and then we've just cut them back a little bit. So we'll see how we go, because as I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. So it's all an experimentation. So there we go, that is a very quick prune of the kiwi. I don't know whether this is the right time to do it or whether we did it right, but I needed to get it under control, and we'll see over the coming year how it progresses. Now this plant is only 2 years old, so it was this will be its 3rd year of growth, so actually we should get some fruit this year. But again, I can't even remember whether it was a self-fertilising variety. I'm sure it was, but I can't be guaranteed. So we'll just see how it progresses. So thanks for tuning in on the video. If you've got any advice on pruning kiwis, please let me know. Pop it in the comments below, and I can always pin the comment as well so everybody else can see how to do it. If you've liked the video, as always, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.